Welcome to The Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
You know, I really love weird questions because they prompt the most interesting conversations. So I'm going to lay this one on you. Have you ever felt the presence of someone you loved after they were gone, after they passed away? I have. But what if that moment wasn't your imagination? What if it was actually a sacred message from the other side? Welcome to the Abundance Journey, where we flip your switch on abundance one conversation at a time. I'm Elaine Starling, the Abundance Ambassador, and your guide to living a life you love, activating your divine gifts and turning everyday experiences into powerful transformation. Well, I am super excited about today's guest. You're going to love this conversation. I had to stop myself and force myself to start recording because I was having so much fun. She is about to take you really deep into the mystical realm of healing, letting go, and tuning in to what really matters. I want you to meet Purnima Sinha, a radiant force of compassion and spiritual insight. With over 50 years of dedicated meditation practice rooted in ultra-transcendental meditation and Surat Sabd Yoga, Purnima is a gifted wellness and spiritual life coach who's worked inside the healthcare system since 2009, helping thousands reconnect to soul-level peace. Purnima holds certifications from Harvard School of Medicine in both lifestyle medicine and meditation and psychotherapy. She's presented multiple times at the International Association for Near-Death Studies, and she supported so many patients during their final transitions. Purnima openly shares her own lifelong journey of after-death communication, out-of-body experiences, and soul-to-soul mystical encounters. And today, she's here to show us how spiritual connection can become a daily act of abundance and deep embodied trust. Purnima, I am so thrilled you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. I love your energy, Elaine. Absolutely love your energy. First of all, I am grateful for this space. So my whole life, I start with gratitude and be grateful for this whole universe. So that's how I start this journey with you. And I'm looking forward.
Oh, I am so thrilled that we're doing this together. And I want to make sure that we all get the most we possibly can out of our interaction. And energy is so incredibly powerful. You were just saying you love my energy. I love your energy. And I want us to unite your energy, bind all of the listeners and viewers with the God of your understanding, because we can all come together to really amplify the transformation that we experience. And so I have two practices that I do to help us connect our energy. The first thing we're going to do is take 3 long, slow, deep breaths together. And as we breathe in through the nose, think the words, I am. And as we breathe out through the mouth, think the word consciousness. And I'll remind you when we get to that point. Then after we do the 3 deep breaths, I'm going to share an intention. I always point at my heart when I say intention. And it's kind of like, this is what we choose to create together through our time together. And it's almost like we're typing into a spiritual GPS and we're letting the God of your understanding, I call this the divine, we're letting the divine know this is where we want to go and how we want to feel as we get there. And it's incredibly powerful to hold this intention. Now, the catch is we're going to hold the intention for 78 seconds of silence. 78 seconds. And human beings currently supposedly have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. And a goldfish starts life brand new every 8 seconds. So it can be really challenging for us to hold on to something for 78 seconds, me included. Distractions are the name of the game. So there are two techniques that I use that really help me hold that space throughout the 78 seconds. The first thing I do is I'll pick 2 or 3 words out of the intention that just feel uplifting and expansive and high vibration. And I'll just repeat them over and over again to myself so that I maintain that energy level. And then I notice what's happening in my body, because sometimes I'll get a rush of heat, or an image will pop in, or my knee feels painful and that moves down to my foot. Anything like that, it's just a sign that the divine has locked into that higher vibration and they're ready to play with us. So, Purnima, are we ready to play?
I love you. You speak so much like me.
I know. That's why I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Intention is everything. Intention is everything.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Everything begins with your intention. And it's so cool when we unite our energy first, because it's not like we have a script. We're winging it here. I have some questions to ask you, but we're just playing.
Right.
And so by having a clear intention, we really do receive guidance, and the words that come through, they're better than anything we could have consciously chosen, because they are divinely guided. So let's go ahead and get started with the 3 deep breaths. Go ahead and breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. In love and light, we are so happy and grateful to awaken the healer and mystic within, opening ourselves to receive divine guidance through after-death communication, out-of-body experiences, and soul-to-soul encounters, as we trust our inner knowing, align with truth, and activate peace, vitality, and profound healing in every aspect of our being. Thank you, divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is. Wow. Purnima, that was so cool. What was your experience like?
I was just feeling the white light.
Ah, so beautiful. It's really funny. I have this little thing where if my computer makes a little noise while I'm holding an intention, to me, it's like the divine is doing a little check mark, like, okay, got it. We've handled this. It's done. It's complete. It's done. We got it. And I got that little ding almost as soon as we started holding an intention. And it was just really interesting. I saw, it was like a woven cloth really close up where you could see the weaving in the cloth. And it went throughout time. So it went back into our ancestors and forward into the future. And it was also very wide, like unending, that it's all connected and it's all right now. It was just so beautiful. It was all love. It was just completely a woven tapestry of love and deep gratitude too, because one of the key things that I'm aware of with regards to connecting with those who have passed is there is so much appreciation and gratitude for us and who we are. And they understand and are deeply compassionate around the struggles that we have. And they just wish us well. You know, they're constantly sending us love and blessings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you said ancestral weave, I also, like when you were talking, I was feeling my both side grandparents and my parents. Again, I'm getting goosebumps. So I know we are so connected. It's amazing.
Yes. And they are with us. They're with us all the time, especially as soon as you think of someone who has passed. And, you know, sometimes people are really anxious about speaking with somebody who passed that maybe they had a disagreement with, or they didn't always get along with, or they have some hard feelings about. And all of that is understood. You know, they get it. They get our struggles. They get our unique situation, and they love us. I mean, that's just the bottom line: is love is everything. Now, I am dying to find out. I mean, I really wish I knew how to do a Spock mind meld, Purnima, because I just want to absorb everything you know. What got you started on this amazing path, and why are you so passionate about it?
You know, this is such a great question. Till I find the ions, I had the experience throughout my childhood, a younger age, older age. Now I'm 60, going to be 65 soon, not yet. But the beauty of it, I knew all the experience. I have the experience, but I didn't know the language because if you tell somebody, you know, they just think you are weird or what is going on, you know, until I find INs. But few people in the hospital when I was working, and sometimes still work as a volunteer, they were very close to the patients, and they were in medical field. Lot of nurses, the people in very high position, they were like they were nurses, but they were like has a medical degree, like a PhD or something. So if I think back, I remember so vividly, still remember so vividly. Probably I was maybe 7 or 8 year old, and I was sitting doing my homework or something in the evening, and something, you know, tell me the voice, I don't know what it did, voice or the guidance, that I'm going to go very far from this country. So I just knew from the beginning that I will not be living in India, which is, I didn't have the language, I didn't articulate, I didn't tell my parents, but it just came to me. So long story short, my mother and father, they were both very spiritual. They always did meditation practice, but my mother was very afraid of death. She was so afraid of death. My father used to say, you know, why you are so spiritual? Why are you so scared of death? So I don't know what is the reason behind it. But she told me when I was like 14 or 15, before I think I was still in high school or first year of college, that this life is a movie. And I don't know why she was telling me that time. I never paid attention. I heard from one and got out from the other. And she told me this is a biggest movie theater this life is. So when we leave, this physical world, you will see why everybody is here to teach you the lesson. So the soul come here to learn the lesson and finish the job. So she tell me, every time you pray, always ask, whatever reason I'm here, let me finish the job.
Oh, wow.
So
I love that.
I was taught that way, that you have to be a service to humanity, and they were very much into humanitarian stuff, helping people, and do not take money at all, because that's the way we were taught. So, and again, she told me that when I am dying, don't cry, don't scream, because the soul wants to go home. And if somebody is doing that, loved one especially, you are holding that person in, and it's hard for them to leave. So she told me all this, and I remember, only time I remember when she was sick. It was 2002. So after my birthday, she got sick, and it was just due to old age. So when I talked to her, she was forgetting stuff. So her potassium and sodium was getting low, and I didn't know that time. So I was crying like a child. I was just crying really hard. So we planned to go to India. My husband, because I was so unstable, he said maybe he will take me there. So he went with me, and I went to the hospital. She saw me, and then couple of days later, she came to home, her home. So, and I told her that your vacation is over. Now you are home with dad. And when my father saw her with so much, like putting a tube or something, they were never sick before in that situation. So he got very nervous, and he said, just remove her from here. But we could not do it. So, and he could not bear to see her like that. And when she came home, I was crying like a 3-4-year-old child. I was just weeping. And my brother was there, and my brother was kind of, giving me lecture that why you act like this, like a 4-year-old. All the parents get old, and it happened to everybody. But I was crying so much. My father saw that, and he told one of the family member to remove me from the room. Aww. He said, take Purnima out from this room. Because of her, she cannot die. And when I heard that, I was so shocked. First of all, to hear my name, that because of me, she cannot die. Then all of a sudden, it's like just like flipping a switch, turn on and off. I stopped crying, literally. And the story I told you when I was younger, she told me about this. Everything came to me all of a sudden. And I knew that, I have to do the prayer for her and sit beside her. And I had some, not grudges, but some complaint all my life with her, all my life, which is a completely different story. Because of that reason, even when I was a child, infant, I never felt love. So it has a story behind it, why it happened. But, when I was younger age, like in 30s, I told her that I never have any experience with you in the childhood memory, feeding me, giving me bath, or getting me ready, or taking me to school. So and that started to bother me age 35, 36. So again, that time when I lost her, I was 42. So she was visiting me here. So I told her all this complaint I have. And she heard it very patiently, and she said, it's not true. So when she said it's not true, I was looking for acknowledgement from her that yes, I did. I got more mad with her. I it was like it's not worth talking to you. I was so mad. So my father told me when she was having me, I think she had some family, maybe her mother died or somebody died, and nobody told her because of her pregnancy. So after my birth, she was going through a maybe postpartum, some kind of depression or something. So my older sister, who is 9 years older than me, and my father was taking care of me. So even age 36, I had my kids, but I never relate to her pain. So what happened when my father told me, remove me from this room, all of a sudden I remember everything. Everything came to me. So what I did, I started praying next to her, and I put one hand on her heart and other on her head, and I said, I know you love me, and I love you, and I am willing to let you go, and I have no grudge, no complaint from you. So I am now. Now even I'm talking. I'm getting like a
That
rush
is
in my
so
body
beautiful.
because they are present with us.
They are.
So she just nodded her head. She could not able to speak because she was so weak, but she opened her eye very gently and put her hand like this that she can hear me. So my father asked me, what day is today? So I said, today's Thursday. And he paused, and I was sitting in the middle of both of them because there's a big bed. So I was sitting with middle of both of them, and he asked, and I said, today's Thursday. And my father was very intuitive. So he paused for a moment and he said, Sunday she will be gone. So I was just shocked to hear that. And my mother heard it. And she made a comment to my dad that, are you being smart again? Because they used to have all the time. They were married for 57 years, I believe.
Wow.
So, and I said, Mom, I told my mother that you can hear everything what we are saying, even though she looked like, she cannot hear anything. And it did happen on Sunday. I was giving milk to my dad for the breakfast. He was still laying on the bed, and I peeked over towards her, and he said, she's gone.
Oh, man.
So,
what an incredible story. What an amazing experience. And how beautiful that you were able to be there for both of your parents.
Yes. And the night before, I told her, in our word, I call her Radha Swami, which is a mystic word for us. And I told her, and I say, okay, go to bed. Like she was in the bed anyway, but I say, go to sleep. And I love you. So that word and that mystic word and saying goodbye, not knowingly that she is passing, it gave me immense peace to know that, I got the last word. Again, it's the ego talking, but I said, okay, you never loved me, that you gave me that thing, because she was very close to my brother. I'm sure mother loves everybody. But when my brother was not home, she passed. So
wow.
He was very mad that he just left her for half an hour and she was gone.
And that's often what happens because they don't want to cause us pain and grief. Yeah. And they do want a chance to say goodbye. Yes. And yes, it has been documented that people can hear for a long, long, long time, and that the brain is still active even after the body has passed, that there's still activity going on. Yes. So there is this thing, life after death, and it's beyond what we can articulate as human beings. There really isn't language that supports it. Yeah. But science is starting to catch up with this is. And I was really blessed. For people who don't know, I was blessed to have a stroke on New Year's Day 2005. And I always say blessed because during my stroke, I got to have a conversation with my higher power. And I got a complete download about how everything works and why we are alive, what we can do to live our best life, and what happens next after this life. And it's a graduation. It is not an ending. Exactly. The best analogy I've been able to find is kind of like the difference between my experience of kindergarten versus first grade. When I was in kindergarten, we had nap time. When I went to first grade, no more nap time. When you're physical, you have a body. When you're not physical, you don't have a body, but you're still doing stuff. There's still a lot going on. And yes, you can communicate with people who are still physical. You can have interactions and conversations. The challenge is we here in the physical realm have to be willing to open up enough to let it in. We have to welcome that connection, welcome that collaboration. So obviously we're all about the abundance journey here. And I define abundance differently than most people do. I'm really curious, Purnima, given the kind of work that you do, and it's really profound spiritual work, but it's also deep connection with ancestors and
Right.
being willing to receive those messages. How do you define abundance?
Let me go back a little bit, because when she passed, I was standing there because the doctor has to come and declare the body. So the doctor came and she declared the body that, she did pass. I still can feel it. Something came to me from her. I could feel it, but I had no idea what it is. And it's like now I can think back. It's like she is going to be with me till I'm getting completely surrender that she did love me, because I did say that, but I think she wanted to make sure before her physical, in the physical body, so much density, maybe she would not able to do it, but I think it was her guidance guided me through this, because I did not know about after death communication at all at that point. I had no idea, but
Really?
it's that's why I said, in the IENTs I find out all these words, because I thought it was real, but you cannot talk to people about that, because I could talk to my mom and dad, but they both were gone within 7 months apart. My father
Right.
passed away. He never got up from the bed when she passed. So he died after 7 months.
Yeah. Now, when you say IANS, you're talking about the International Association of Near-Death Studies,
Yes,
right?
yeah. International
Great.
Association for Near Death Study. They gave me the language. Before that, I did
Cool.
not have I had my own language,
Right.
but when I talk about my own language, only few people could understand. The one they are in that mode. Otherwise, in my family, nobody was interested.
Yeah.
Nobody was interested. So what I felt from her, that now I can relate, but that time I had no clue. And she was so spiritual. She planned her death before, I guess. So she had a tape recorder of all the prayers. So she said, if you could not do the prayers, at least put the tape recorder so I could hear the prayer when I'm going. So we did that also. I was doing prayer, but I used that tape recorder. The beauty of it, after she passed, the tape recorder never played.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
I felt her presence day one.
Yeah.
And I could not able to sleep for 15 or 20 days while I was there, but I was traveling back to US because my younger son is starting a high school, and it's a total new schedule. And my father was counting every day, not for me to when I'm leaving. So he's counting that you are going this day. So every day is, getting closer and closer. And I was feeling sad, but I was telling my dad that, my responsibility is there, for my younger son. So I have to go.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of story in between, that how that guidance, the divine guidance brought me back.
Yeah, that is so beautiful to feel the presence of your mother.
Yeah.
Really there nourishing you, encouraging you, rooting for you. I mean, that's what moms do, right? And to
Yeah.
have your mom sticking with you through thick and thin, it's really interesting when that happens. Now, I want to go back to that question. How do you define abundance? Because
I define
different.
abundance. Great question. I love that question. I define abundance when I have a intimate relationship with divine. And prayer is my hobby or passion, you can say 24/7. I talk to divine, God, what source, whatever name, 24/7. Literally when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So that's how the whole hospital work started. Because when I was coming back from India, I was so sick, I could not able to function. So when I, had taken my flight, whole period of time, I felt her hand on my right shoulder. And because I was telling her in the sense that you have to bring me back home so I can do my job, taking care of my kids. I was literally like demanding, you have to, because of, this thing I came, but you have to, because I was so sick, doctor had to give me anxiety medicine.
Oh.
And I did not want it to take, and because I don't tolerate those medicines anyway.
Yeah.
So I was very reluctant, but somebody on the flight found me, like I was very sad, and they stick with me in Switzerland. It was like a 10-hour gap. So it was a long journey, but I always felt her presence on my shoulder till I came back home.
That is so beautiful.
And 3 months she stick here completely in the kitchen area, wanted to just, she wanted to make sure I'm okay. And slowly the whole thing started, my job and how I left my job. But your question is, how did I start my journey, right?
Yeah.
The hospital work, right? Because I used to tell her that I will talk to old people, because when they were getting old, she used to say, nobody come and talk to us.
Oh,
They get lonely. So I did not tell her, but I had it in my mind that when I get chance, I'm going to talk to old people. So after my younger son graduated, went to college, and I said, I was working full time. And every day I was telling them, I don't want to work here. And my older son was getting the degree, medical degree. And I promised my mom that I wanted to become doctor, but I could not. So my son became a doctor. And the day he got the degree, I was telling my job, I don't want to work here anymore. So within a month, I got laid off. This was 2007.
You had an intention, but you didn't have the next step part of the intention.
Oh, no.
I don't want to work here anymore part down, and that worked.
But I was telling, again, everything, is nothing I can orchestrate that way. I was telling my job that I don't want to work here anymore. I want to work in the hospital.
Oh.
And I didn't even know why I was saying that. I wanted to work in the hospital. And they will ask me, do you have any degree for the hospital? I said, no. Do you have some kind of course of the hospital? No, nothing. But I was keep selling that I want to work in the hospital. So after I got laid off, came back home, I was so happy. I said, now I can do whatever I want. And my son, being a doctor, he did not want me to work in the hospital because of the infection and all this thing. So, and my husband, he's in the finance, so all about money. He said, they make billions of dollars. Why you want to give your free time? I said, I'm not going to listen to any of you. I'm going to work there. So I put my application, volunteer work there, and my younger son was with me, and I told him that what I really want to do here to teach meditation. So he was a witness. But I started working in 2008. And when I was working there, I started in bariatric unit, and I had to go there like 6 o'clock in the morning. And my husband was saying, I never seen anybody crazy than you, because in the volunteer work, you're going 6 o'clock in the morning to do what? I have no idea. But my mind was set up. And the beauty of divine, I cannot emphasize. When I was entering the hospital, going towards chapel, and then going to that bariatric unit, I was getting so happy. And I had no idea why I'm getting so happy. And I'm working in the unit, and the voice is keep telling me, you have to see patient. You have to see patient. And I'm telling myself, I am seeing a patient. These are the bariatric patient. I'm taking them to radiology. I'm taking to the lab, wherever they wanted go before their procedure. So it did not stop. So then I talked to two of those ladies in the hospital. They were quite high rank, but they were in tune with my energy, because for whatever reason. So I asked her that. I said, I don't know why is this voice is guiding me to tell you have to work with patients. So she said, oh, okay, let me guide you to the right direction. So next day, following day, they had a volunteer luncheon. The hospital gave very nice luncheon. So I went to that table, did not know anybody. And I asked that I just want to work with patient. So that person said, oh, that means you want to do patient advocate job? I said, I guess. So he said, okay, because they have to do your screening and background checking, because you are seeing patient one-to-one, just like a doctor, and in behalf of the patient point of view, how is your treatment? How are you doing here? Those kind of things. So, and once they did that, in 2 days, I was cleared. So I started doing that, and the voice subsided. So I knew I was in the correct place doing a patient advocate job.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful. Now, Purnima, you are very adept at hearing the voices, at receiving the messages, at noticing that sense of joy as you walk in the door. Not all of us are attuned that way, the way you are. You know, what has to shift inside us such that we can welcome in that connection, that profound spiritual connection?
I think again, the credit goes to my dad. When we were little, he always taught us trust life. Trust life. Like, again, that time I did not know what was that, but throughout my life, that voice always guided me, and I think it's a blessing. I don't take credit because the human mind cannot grasp the deeper sense. So some reason I never questioned it. When I heard the voice, I knew this is a guidance, because it's different type of energy you feel. If your mind is telling you, it's different with your ego because you want to be higher or whatever. But the intuitiveness, guidance is totally, it comes like a whoosh.
Yeah.
And I have a choice either to listen or ignore.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really interesting because it comes at the oddest times for me. And I get divine downloads, that's what I call them, all the time. Yes. I was walking in my neighborhood, and I'm in a rural area on a street with no sidewalks. So I always wave at the cars that go by to send people off to work or school with love and blessings. That's just my thing. And one morning, I was doing that and waving at a car, and I felt this intense rush of love pour out through my body to the people in the car. And it was so much more. I mean, I'm just being friendly, neighborly, I'm not like really all that. And it was amazing. This was divine love just pouring through me to the people in the car. And I couldn't even see who it was. The way the windshield was lit up, I didn't recognize the car. I didn't know who it was, but it was just deep love for everyone in the car. And I felt them kind of push back, going, how can you love me when you don't even know me? And something else spoke through me in response to them that said, I must love you before I can know you. And I think that to me was a really important turning point, because I know that you talk a lot about love and self-love and how important that is in our health and well-being, and in how we can radiate out that love to everyone else and the kind of difference that it makes. And it seems like such a subtle thing, right? Love seems so vague. It seems undefined, or, like, really? Does energy really make that big a difference? Yeah, it does.
Very true. Yes. Yeah. I talk about the self-love. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I would love it if you could share one or two small little steps or signals that help us recognize when we're on the right track. For those of us who are trying to open up more, so we receive more, we can receive messages from our ancestors, we can receive divine downloads. What's something we can do to really tune in?
The first thing I would suggest, I do my meditation practice Or meditation is not like you sitting and like this, people think meditation is the connection and the source, which is the breath. So I do my personal meeting with God, or whatever you can say, that every morning between 3:30. Usually I get up sometimes, so 3:30 to 6 o'clock is my personal time with divine. And again, when I go to bed, I need at least an hour or something before I go to bed. I'm in the bed, but I'm again talking, literally talking. I'm telling my plan, and then I will go with your plan. But I want to tell you what my plan is. I will get the guidance. So that's one thing I, suggest. Every morning, start with prayer and gratitude. What I have, I am grateful. As long as I'm breathing, I am grateful. As long as my body, functioning, walking and talking, my body is supporting me, physical body, I have no problem.
Wow.
Because anybody cannot able to breathe or do anything with the physical body, you can ask them. They will say, I have a problem. But we make so much story here. So I think my parents' death, both of them passing within so close, my grief was so intense. I had to surrender because I was not able to function. Physical function, I could not able to do. So the more I cry, the more I weep, I got the guidance that all is well. And my father always said, everything happening for you, not to you. So I remember, and I'm talking to God and telling divine that why I have to learn all the lesson, why other people don't learn lesson. So that's the way I am. I am raised like trust life. So it comes in such a rush. Guidance, the data comes, has no emotion behind it. So that is the difference. If you want to see if your head is talking or your heart is talking, it's two different. Energetically you will feel, and it comes. And other thing I pay attention, when it keep coming to the same thing, like when I was working in the hospital, it was keep telling me you have to see patient. And even though I was seeing bariatric patient, but it was keep telling me you have to see patient. And through seeing patient one-to-one basis, and I love sharing quotations because that's the way I am from the childhood. I love quotations. And I was telling them this book to read, that book to read, that administration find out. And then they approached me a year and a half later, do you like to teach meditation here? And when I heard that, I said, oh my goodness, the divine listen all the time. So I do not take any credit, but it's awesome. The divine source, God, whatever name we say it, is beyond awesome.
It is beyond awesome. It is so much more than we can ever really understand or appreciate, because it is such an incredibly loving presence. It's just amazing. And, I loved what you said about you heard the same message over and over again. And I've had that experience too. It's kind of like they really want me to get this.
Yes.
And if they don't think I quite get it yet, they're going to keep saying it until I sort of grasp it. And so I loved your talking about have a conversation with the God of your understanding. Have an open connection. And you don't have to speak it out loud if you don't want to, if you feel too weird doing that. You can say it in your mind.
Exactly.
But definitely do that. One of the ways that I receive divine downloads is I will do my meditation and then I sit for guidance with a journal. And I'll ask a question in my journal, and I'll just start writing whatever's coming through. And often it doesn't make sense, or it sounds kind of hokey to me as I'm writing. But then when I'm done, and I'll keep asking, is there anything else? Is there anything else you want me to know? Any other ideas that I should be paying attention to? Is there anybody I should be in touch with? I just keep asking questions, and I keep writing until I'm done writing. And then I go back and I read the whole thing, especially if you read it out loud. It's incredibly profound. I mean, they want to speak with you. They really want to help you and facilitate your life. And we're the ones who are blocking it because we think, oh no, I have to be in charge. I'm a human being. So And yes, you are. But the thing that was really clear to me is it's not like you're this lowly little ant and there's this God way up above you that never pays any attention. No, 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 no. You're an equal partner collaborating with the divine to create life. Your life and your life ripples out to everyone around you. So
Yes.
never shy away from having an open conversation, including when you're unhappy and you're ticked off or whatever's
Yes.
going on with you. They want to know and they will help you
Yes.
process it and they will help you
Yes.
receive the blessings that are there for you.
Yes, that is so true. It was like millions of, like I can say ditto to you, because exactly that's how, I operate. And like you said, when you are ticked off, there is a one incident I'm going to talk. I had an issue, so I had so much pain one time. Doctor has to give injection. I went to India, came back. It was more, the situation was so worse. I could not able to walk for 3 weeks, because they had to immobilize my knee. I was in so much pain. I'm taking painkiller, and I took two shawls of my mom. So one I keep next to my bed, and other shawl I keep it here, where on my couch, where I lay down to do meditation when nobody's here. So I was so mad because I was so much in pain with my knees, and my mom had some knee issue. So I literally took the shawl out and holding the shawl like on my face, and I'm talking to my mom that you better fix me or you take me right now, because I don't want to live anymore. Literally, I am so mad at her. I went to the doctor. I said, give me something I can, I can feel better, or I just want to die. It's amazing how universe work. I was doing on my laptop looking, I don't know what I was looking, and one of the page came about the Ayurvedic medicine. So that medicine is from the Patanjali. So I found out again, it's all the guidance is telling me. So I did that. Did my homework. I got the medicine. I took that medicine for 4 months straight every morning, as is said, and the pain was gone. Again, I have to do the physical therapy and everything. But the thing is, when they speak to you, like guidance, God, whatever name you said, please listen.
Yes.
Follow up.
Definitely follow up. Definitely take action. And one of the things that I've noticed that's kind of funny to me. So I'm supporting one of my clients, and I'm really just channeling the divine for them. And sometimes the divine will say, darling, we're kind of hoping that if we get the words to go out of your mouth, you got 2 ears. Yeah, you're saying it to support somebody else, but we really hope you take it on for yourself at the same time, because it's not just for them, it's for you too.
Yes.
So, oh my God. Purnima, I could keep you here all day. I am just having the best time because I get it. I get your energy. I love your connection to the divine, to ancestors, to those who have passed on, and your willingness to co-collaborate with them in shaping your current life. Because when you were in pain, you were willing to say, hey, I would like some help. Like right now would be good.
Bring me all the team members.
And then they gave you some guidance and you took action. It's not like you just sit there eating bonbons and poof, you're magically healed. No, you get to step up and take action with reflection from them on how you can be served. But oh man, I have got my work cut out for me because you shared so many brilliant things, and I have to pick just one for the Activate Abundance segment. So,
and one more thing I want to suggest about the question you asked last time. Self-love is so important. Teaching self-love is nothing unless you love yourself. And because, the issue I had with my mother, even though she said it's not true, I had to figure it out because she's gone, right? And after that, I said, okay, I complained. She heard it. She said it's not true. Then, the whole thing was passing, like I would not let her pass. So I told her that I love you and then I said, that now what? So I started, going back journey. And then when I felt her pain, it was during meditation. I felt her pain, what she was going through when she had me. And, she had a newborn to take care, right? when I lost my mom, I had both kids. One was in college, one was going to high school. So that made me realize I don't even have to take care of the baby, but the pain and grief and sadness I felt in my belly, then I realized her pain. And when I realized her pain, I forgive her. And that's how the whole universe again responded. I wrote an article in Eckhart Tolle newsletter. It was published. It goes to 110 countries, and it was 2013 it got published. And guess what? It published on the same day when my mom died.
Oh, wow.
Again, giving me goosebumps. So it's like a confirmation
Yes.
from my mother that you did a good job forgiving
Yes.
yourself and then herself. And it's all about self-love. Unless I love myself, I cannot love others.
So true.
That's the
It's so
biggest,
true.
I think, take out with this thing about the gratitude and self-love. And you have to trust life.
So many wonderful things that you shared with us today. Purnima, thank you. Thank you for this incredible conversation. And I want everybody to stick around because we're going to activate abundance in just a minute. Don't you just adore Purnima? I mean, you can see why I want to talk to her, right? She is in such a flow of consciousness. She's so present. Even when she's talking about something that happened in the past, you just feel the presence. She is living it again, and she brings you with her. So you're in that room with her mother as her mother's passing and her father in the same bed, and you can just feel the heart connection. That was absolutely magical. Step one is gratitude. And I'm so grateful to Purnima for modeling that for all of us, modeling what true presence looks like. She was so connected and so there for all of us. Sure, she was sharing a story about her past, but make no mistake, all of that flowed right through her story into each of us. And we got the value of that connection and that transformation that she experienced simply because she was fully present. So, incredible gratitude. Gratitude is always step one. Step two is to acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. It was an insight. It was a really valuable, useful thing. And there was so much she said. I was like, I have to pick just one. But there was one thing she said that I was like, man, I haven't been doing this, and I'm going to take that on. She was saying that at the end of every prayer, you always ask the God of your understanding to guide you to finish the job. And the job is your purpose here on earth. This is your divine purpose. Please guide me to finish the job. That's how she ends her prayers. And every single one of her prayers is eventually answered. That's why she has such a profound connection, because she's saying, hey, I want to partner with you and I want the guidance and I'm ready to receive the guidance. So bring it on. I'm paying attention. I'm fully present so I can receive. Oh, that was a game changer. That was a real game changer. Please guide me to finish the job. Let me finish the job. Love that. Step three, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Well, the thing is, so often as human beings, we think we have to understand everything from beginning to end before we can start. But that's not how life works. You get to kind of pick up in the middle and figure out where you're going along the way. And so being willing to be guided, to know that you are guided, to welcome in the guidance so that you are welcoming every moment as a blessing, because that's truly what it is. That shifts everything. It takes away a lot of the burden and the feeling of responsibility. Yes, you're responsible. It's your life and your divine purpose that you are fulfilling. At the same time, you are guided to fulfill it. Does that make sense? Right? Because you might think, oh, I need to write a book. And they're saying, no, have a wonderful conversation with your neighbor and take them some chicken soup because they're not feeling well. That might be the guidance that you receive. And you think, Well, that doesn't have anything to do with changing the masses. You don't know how everything's connected. So when you allow yourself to receive the messages, to welcome in the guidance, then you fulfill your divine purpose. See, that's how it works. You think you know where you want to go. Where they want you to go is where you want to go. All right, step 4, activate abundance. And I found 3 different ways to do this. The first way is schedule time to get it done. Like for me, that's meditation and journaling. Because if I don't schedule time and make it happen, and kudos to Purnima getting up at 3:30 in the morning, from 3:30 until 6, 2.5 hours of meditation and spiritual practice. It's no wonder she's so incredibly connected. And then she tops it up with an extra hour at the end of the day. That's commitment, baby. That's what that is. That's scheduling time to get it done. I'm usually sleeping at 3:30 in the morning, but I'm blown away. Wow, yeah, schedule time to get it done. The second way to activate abundance is with a physical trigger, like crossing your fingers or tugging on your earlobe as a reminder, hey, I am guided in all things. Divine, please guide me to finish the job. Guide me on this path. I don't have all the answers. And I know that they are beautifully unfolding for me in perfect divine timing. So I'm aware, I'm fully present, I'm listening, I'm open, I welcome your guidance and support that empowers me to fulfill my divine purpose. This little thing, this little crossing your fingers, tugging on your earlobe is a reminder that helps you stay present through every conversation, through every interaction. It's a physical trigger that anchors you into your truth. Your truth is who you are choosing to be in the moment. So don't make light of a little physical trigger. It can change everything for you. The third way to activate abundance is partnering up with what I call an abundance buddy. Most people call them accountability buddies, but I'm all about abundance. So this is somebody who gets you, who loves you, who knows you, who understands your dedication and your commitment. And they can see when you're kind of going off the rails, and they can say, hey, did you collaborate with the divine about helping you finish the job? Did you ask them for guidance? Are you tuned in and really present to receive the guidance? Because sometimes we get trapped in our old behavior and we don't notice when we're falling back into old patterns. But an abundance buddy can hold you accountable with deep love and regard and support and remind you of who you have chosen to be. All right, step 5 is celebrate. This is a joyous journey of continual abundance that shows up in all kinds of ways. You are continually showered with blessings. You are a massive blessing in the world, and you are blessed. So I'm going to challenge you to bless everything. Bless everyone. Gratitude is the acorn of your abundance tree. Gratitude is the ignition switch to consciousness. So make sure that you approach your life with deep gratitude and reverence. Even when you don't understand what's happening, know that you can always ask and you are guided. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next time for the Abundance Journey.
You've been listening to the Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.